messo gli occhi su di te, tu sei diversa e non lo sai, tu sbagli e ridi tra di noi, ma sono tristi gli occhi tuoi, è come sei, somigli un po' a me, ho messo gli occhi su di te, per una storia che non so, che vuoi nascondere ma che sta tutta là negli occhi tuoi, è come sei, somigli un po' a me. Balla, non pensiamoci, balla, divertiamoci, balla, sorridiamoci, balla, e diciamoci basta. Ho messo gli occhi su di te, tu sei diversa e non lo sai, qualcosa vuoi dimenticare, tu balli e non ti stanchi mai, è come sei, somigli un po' a me. Ho messo gli occhi su di te, tu sei diversa e non lo sai, tu balli e ridi tra di noi, ma sono tristi gli occhi tuoi, è come sei, somigli un po' a me. Ho messo gli occhi su di te, per una storia che non so, che vuoi nascondere ma che sta tutta là negli occhi tuoi, è come sei, somigli un po' a me, è come sei, somigli un po' a me, è come sei, somigli un po' a me.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to our 23rd, yes, 23rd Facebook Live event. Yes, here we are, Starfury Live on Facebook, as I give you the latest updates on what is going on with Starfury conventions. And tonight, I'm going to be running through what's happening with our next two events, because this time, next week, just 7 days' time, we'll all be sitting in the main hall getting ready for the opening ceremony for Starfury Crossroads 4. That's our fourth supernatural event. That's taking place next week. And in exactly 2 weeks' time, we've got Starfury Ultimate's Crisis, which is our celebration of the DC TV universe. So with those events taking place so close, I'm devoting tonight's Facebook Live to going through what to expect at those events. I don't really have updates on the other events that we have taking place over the next year or so, but one or two little tidbits of information for you. Now, firstly, for all you Wancers who will be attending our Once Upon a Time convention, Starfury Enchanted 4, just let you know that photo ops for that event are on sale now. So if you want to get your photo ops ready for that, want to make sure you have a photo with Lana Parella or with the Evil Queens or one of the many other great guests that we have coming to Starfury Enchanted 4, then those photo ops are on sale now. Also, a little update for all Lucifer fans. And with Starfury Lux 2, our second Lucifer event, which has been postponed for an eternity, but will still be taking place next February, I can now also confirm that Rachel Harris has agreed to the new dates. So that means that we have attending that event, we have Tom Ellis is attending, we have Kevin Alejandro, also attending Trisha Helfer, we have attending Inbar Lavi, and we can now confirm that Rachel Harris is also attending for the new event dates. I'm waiting here for the back to hear from the other guests who had previously been advertised for this event. Now, this is just caused some confusion, this, but I think this is the right thing to handle this. This is the way Starfury does things. When we had to postpone an event due to the pandemic, rather than just keep on advertising the same guests for the new dates, I wait until those guests have actually got back to me and say, I can do those dates. So I don't start advertising them until I know that they can do them. So if there's other guests not advertised yet, it doesn't mean they're not going to be there. It just means they haven't committed to the new dates just yet. And that's the way we handle things. Now, something similar happened with one of our other events, Starfury Survival 5. And I'd been waiting to hear back from Amalia Holm, who is the star of Motherland Fort Salem, as well as Sarah Thompson from the 100, just to confirm that unfortunately now Sarah Thompson has confirmed that she can't make the new dates as she's working in South Africa at the time. So unfortunately, Sarah Thompson is definitely out of Survival 5. I am, however, still waiting to hear back on Amalia Holm, and I'll update you as soon as I know on that. But I don't start advertising people until I know that they are available to attend. Now, on another piece of news, I'll get the bad news out the way first. We've got Crossroads 4 and Ultimate Crisis coming up. We've unfortunately lost some guests on those events at the last minute. Now, we've lost one guest on Starfury Crossroads 4, and that's Alex Pornovich. Sadly, he's unable to attend because he's filming on Snowpiercer at the moment. He had hoped to get the time out, but that hasn't unfortunately worked out. So sadly, Alex has had to cancel. Now, we have got back to Alex and we've invited him back to another Starfury event, and we've given him the option, because as well as having been on Supernatural, he's also in Hawkeye as well. So we've turned around and said to him, which works out better for him, Ultimates Agents Assemble or Starfury Crossroads 5. So he hasn't got back to us on which works out best for him yet. We're just waiting to hear back from him on that, but we should know sometime next week. In terms of Starfury Ultimates Crisis, as we've already announced, sadly, Kyla Lee has had to cancel for personal family reasons. Also, we've lost another guest, unfortunately, due to filming on the new Teen Wolf movie. Crystal Reed has also had to cancel her appearance as well. Unfortunately, she had been working the last 2 or 3 weeks to see if she could get time out to attend the event, but unfortunately it didn't work out. Not bad news, but just a change in terms of how we got to schedule things. If you've been keeping updated on what's going on with their career, Kat McNamara is currently filming the pilot for the spin-off series for Walker, Texas Ranger, which she's the star of. Now, the good news is that she's managed to get time off from filming, so she's still attending Starfury Crisis. However, she has to be back on set on the Monday after the event. So that means she has to leave the convention at 12 noon. Her photo ops and her guest talks are unaffected. She won't be at the closing ceremony, and she won't be signing autographs on the Sunday. She has, however, agreed to sign for a longer period of time on the Saturday to try and get through as many attendees as possible. Now, if you had a fan meet booked with Kat on the Sunday with Joseph David Jones, we're now moving that into the Saturday fan meet group. If you can't make that, then send us an email and we'll refund you on that. Now, if you had a photo op purchased with Kyla Lee or Crystal Reed or Alex Panovich, they're going to be all refunded over this weekend. You'll get an email when the refund's being processed, and it takes about 3 to 5 working days to show in your account. So the refunds are going through on that. We'll also be refunding Crystal Reed's fan meets. Alex Panovich was doing a fan meet with Tarmo Pennicott. We're not refunding those at the moment. What we're going to do is look to putting another actor in with Tarmo in those fan meets. However, if you were only interested in seeing Alex in those, send us an email, and again, we'll get you a refund on those. So anyway, moving on to the events. That's the bad news. Still got a ton. That still leaves us with 15 guests for Crisis and 9 guests for Crossroads Force. They're still great lineups. And hopefully we will be seeing Alex Pornovich at another Starfury event later in the year. And I'm sure we'll see Kyla Lee back at a Starfury event sometime in the future as well, because we love working with her. Now, one of the other things that we've got to keep you updated about what's going on at Starfury events is how we're handling coming out of the pandemic. Now, the information is on our website, but I thought I'd just go through it now so you know exactly what to expect on how we're going to be handling things at Crossroads 4 next week and also at Ultimates Crisis. Now, when I started doing these Facebook Lives at the start of the pandemic, it was in order to keep all you guys updated about what's happening with Starfury and how I'm going to be dealing with this pandemic. And it's always been my aim to be as absolutely transparent with you guys as possible over what to expect at my events. Now, we had an 18 months hiatus and we came back last year with Crossroads 3. That was our 3rd Supernatural event. I've got our 4th Supernatural event next week. And we had COVID measures put in place to try and make sure that the event was as safe as possible for all our attendees and the staff and the guests at the event. And we had those COVID precautions in place for our Once Upon a Time event, Enchanted 4, the Vampire Ball, and our New Year's Eve event, Destiny. And they all work very well. I think it proved that you can have a safe event during these post-pandemic times. We're keeping up with these COVID precautions for the time being. I know that the government has dropped all safety precaution requirements. However, we're a private event, so we can put in whatever precautions that we feel are necessary, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I want my events to be as safe as possible for the attendees and the guests. So these are the precautions that we will be taking. Now, firstly, I'm asking all attendees to show a vaccine passport at registration, or if you haven't got a vaccine passport, instead to show proof of a negative test. Now, you'll be asked to show the vaccine passport at registration. You can have it on your mobile phone on the NHS, and you just have to show that. If you don't have the vaccine passport, then you will need to take a COVID test the day that you are going to the event. You'll be at registration. The NHS sends you a text confirming you've had a negative test, and you'll have to show that at registration. Now, I would, however, actually ask, even if you have had a vaccine shot, if you've got the vaccine and have a vaccine passport, it's still common sense to take a COVID test before you go to an event such as this anyway. And if everybody could take the COVID test, that would be absolutely brilliant. It would make things so much easier for me in terms of the logistics and the running of the event. Now, until recently, the COVID tests had actually been free on the NHS. Now, unfortunately, you have to pay for them, but they're actually pretty cheap. They're about £2.50, and you can pick one up at your local Boots or your local pharmacist. And if you take the COVID test before coming to the event, then you'll know that you're okay. If you do have COVID, if you found you have COVID, then we would ask you not attend the event, and that you contact me, send me an email at info@starfury.co.uk. If you can't attend due to COVID infections, then we will give you credit for the full amount that you've spent on the event to use at other Starfury events. So if you find you do have COVID, you're not going to lose out. Well, you missed that event, but you'll still be able to have your money to use at a future Starfury event and attend a future one when you're over it. We are also asking all attendees to wear masks. Now, masks are not mandatory, and I fully appreciate that not all attendees can. Some for health or for mental health reasons can't wear a mask. But if you can, we're asking that you do. It's a mask of, wearing a mask is a mark of respect to your fellow attendees. It helps stop the spread of COVID, helps people feel safe. If you can't wear it, I understand it, but please do wear a mask. During the photo ops, we won't be using plexiglass or masks in the photo ops. We would ask that you wear a mask while you're queuing, but you don't have to. We won't be having masks in the photo ops themselves. In terms of whether there are hugs or touches in the photo ops, whether the photo ops is touch is down to the actual guest's choice. But we will have some posters around giving some cool pose ideas if any of the guests don't want to have a touch photo op. And we would very much request that you respect whatever the guest's wishes are when you're having a photo op. So that's what our COVID precautions that we're going to be taking at the event. If you could please follow them. We just want to make sure it's a safe event. We want everybody to have a good time. We want to have everybody to have a relaxed time, and we want to make sure that nobody catches anything at the event. So now we're moving on. Just a week to go. We've got Crossroads 4, and the week after we've got Ultimates Crisis. Now, if you've attended a Starfury event before, you kind of have an idea of what you got to do. But the event starts off on the Friday afternoon with registration. And you turn up at registration and you show your ticket and you'll pick up your registration pack, which will be a poster, your convention program with bios of the guests, just letting you know what's happening over the weekend, your autograph card, which is proof over what autographs you have or haven't had over the weekend, and your badge, convention badge, which you've got to wear over the weekend so people know that you've paid to get into the event. Now, when you turn up at registration, have your ticket ready to show. You don't have to print it up. You could show it on your mobile phone. That's good for the environment, less paper, saves a groot. And if you just have to show the QR code, which we scan in, and then that can get your registration pack. If you also have ready with you your vaccine passport, which is on your mobile phone, or alternatively, your proof of a negative COVID test. Now, registration is going to be open from 3 till 8 on the Friday, and then from 9 o'clock on the Saturday and the Sunday. If you miss the Friday, you're still able to register on the Saturday or the Sunday morning. Now, for both events, the actual event starts proper at about 7 o'clock, 7:30, which is when the main hall will open, and we have the opening ceremony at 8 o'clock when we introduce all the guests to the attendees at the event. And then straight after the opening ceremony, we have a disco in the main hall for attendees to attend. If you're a gold ticket holder, however, then we have a meet and greet reception that's going to be taking place on the Friday evening, and that's going to be taking place from 8:45. And that's going to be a sit-down event. You sit on a table, a round table with 10 seats on it, and the guests will come from each table and they'll spend a few minutes chatting to you on the table. All the guests are currently scheduled to attend the meet and greet at both events. The one thing we will be doing to make things safe at the meet and greet is we're going to be asking attendees to wear face shields. I think I've got one here. Yeah, face shields like this. You put it on your face, and I felt this would be better than masks because then you can see each other's faces and it makes interaction easier. We will have free face shields that we will be giving out at the entrance to the meet and greet reception. So if you wear a face shield or if you want to wear a mask, however, for the meet and greet, we are saying all attendees have to wear either a face shield or a mask. If there's anybody on your table who isn't wearing one, then the guests, if they want to, they can skip your table if they don't want to take the risk of getting infection. But I felt the face shields is a good way of still allowing facial communication between you and your fellow attendees and the guests during the meet and greet reception rather than wearing a mask. And we'll be doing the same for the fan meets as well. Now, moving on to Crossroads, as that's the first event that's happening, and that's taking place next week. Now, on the Saturday and the Sunday, the event starts with the photo sessions. Now, you buy your photo session ticket online, and photo session tickets will be available for each photo session up until 5 minutes before that session takes place. So you can purchase tickets online. Then at the event itself, you go to the photo session desk and you exchange that for a proper ticket at the event. And the photo session is going to start on the Sunday morning at 9 o'clock. And at 9 o'clock, at 9 a.m., we have Osric Chow, as well as Rick Worthy and Leah Kearns doing their photo ops. At 9:45, David Hayden-Jones and Adam Fergus will be doing their photo ops, a British Men Are Letters photo op. At 10 o'clock, we have a Galactica, Battlestar Galactica group, which includes Rick Worthy, Leah Kearns, and Tarmo Pennicott together. At 10:15 a.m., Tarmo Pennicott's going to be doing his photo ops. Jim Beaver and Richard Spate Jr. will be doing their photo ops from 10:45, and at 11:15, Lindsay McKeon's going to be doing her photo ops. We'll send you schedules in emails over the next day or so for all the attendees, but that's how the photo ops going to go on the Saturday. On the Sunday, the photo ops, if I can just find that, photo ops, they start at 9 in the morning. And in the first group, there's Adam Fergus and David Hayden-Jones doing their photo op from 9 a.m. Also from 9 a.m., Leah Kearns and Rick Worthy are doing their photo ops. At 10 o'clock, Lindsay McKeon's going to be doing her photo ops. At 10:30, in one of the groups, is going to be Jim Beaver and Richard Spate Jr. And also at 10:30, it's going to be Tarmo Pennicott and Osric Chow. Now, the photo ops are going to run from 9 a.m. till 12 noon on the Saturday and the Sunday morning. Now, after your photo's taken, we print those up, and it takes about an hour or so to get it done, but then they'll be ready for collection and you'll be able to pick those photo ops. We can't guarantee it, but we try and try to get all the photo ops printed before the autograph sessions, because we know that some attendees like to get their photos signed at the autograph sessions. Now, moving on, in the afternoon from 12 noon, we have the guest talks and the autograph sessions running simultaneously. Now, if you go to a guest talk, we will actually put numbers up on the screen about who's being called for the autograph sessions. The autograph sessions, you'll be called up by your registration number. And so that way we can keep it flowing and try and minimize the time that you're queuing, and so you miss as little of the guest talk as possible. Now, on the Saturday, the guest talk's going to start at 12 noon with Richard Spate Jr. At 1 p.m., Jim Beaver will be on stage. At 2 o'clock, we have the British Men of Letters together, David Hayden-Jones and Adam Fergus. At 3 o'clock, it's Tarmo Pennicott and Lindsay McKeon together. At 4 o'clock, it's Leah Kearns and Rick Worthy. And then the final guest talk on the Saturday is at 5 o'clock with Osric Chow. Now, while that's going on, we have the autograph sessions also going on, and that'll be from 12 noon till 3 p.m. Osric Chow, Lindsay McKeon, Tarmo Pennicott, Rick Worthy, and Leah Kearns will be signing autographs. And then from 3 o'clock till 6 o'clock, David Hayden-Jones, Adam Fergus, Jim Beaver, and Richard Spate Jr. will be doing their autograph sessions. Now, if you can only attend for one day, the way it's done is you go and get the guests have been split into two groups. So you go for one group one day on the Saturday and one group on the Sunday, depending on what your ticket number is. Now, this means you get half your guests one day and half the guests the other day. However, if you're only attending for one day, then please let the staff know so we can get you through to get all your autographs on that day. Now, once the autograph session finishes, In the evening, we have a cosplay contest that starts at 8:30. The main hall will be closed from about 6 o'clock till 7:30. It'll reopen at 7:30. At 8:30, we have a cosplay competition. And then at 9 o'clock, we have a disco that goes on until 2. So that's how the Saturday schedule looks. Now, the Sunday schedule, now I ran over the photo ops, which run from 9 until noon. But in terms of the guest talks, the guest talk starts at 12 noon, and we have Leah, we have Rick Worthy on stage at 12 noon. At 1 p.m., we have Tarmo Pennicott and Leah Kearns. At 2 o'clock, it's Osric Chow and Lindsay McKeon. Then there's a half-hour break from 2 till 3:30. At 3:30, it's David Hayden-Jones and Adam Fergus. And at 4:30, Jim Beaver and Richard Speight Jr. Now, while that's going on, we'll also have the autograph sessions going on as well. You keep an eye on the screen for when your number's called, and then you go get your autographs when your number's called. And then at 7 o'clock, we'll have the closing ceremony. That's when we'll say goodbye to the guests and bring the event to a close. But we still have a disco that takes place from 8:30 till 2 o'clock. So that's how it's going to look for Starfury Crossroads. We do also, I forgot to mention, we also have the fan meets. And the fan meets we have from 12, to go back on the fan meets. Now, the fan meets, bit like the meet and greet, we're going to be asking you to wear face shields in the fan meets. You'll be able to pick up a face shield for free when you arrive at the fan meet. And the fan meet is a 20-minute chat between a guest and up to 20 attendees. You can buy tickets to the fan meets online on our website, and they'll remain on sale till about an hour before the fan meet takes place, or they sell out, whichever happens first. Now, on the Saturday at 12:30, David Hayden-Jones and Adam Fergus are doing their fan meet. At 1:15 is Richard Speight Jr. At 2:15 is Jim Beaver. At 4:10, it's Tarmo Pennicott. And at 4:35, Lindsay McKeon and Osric Chow. So that's how it's looking on the Saturday. And on the Sunday, just turn my page over here. And on the Sunday, the fan meets 2:15. It's Leah Kearns and Rick Worthy. Also at 2:15, Tarmo Pennicott. At 3:15, Jim Beaver. At 4 o'clock, Richard Speight Jr. And at 5 o'clock, David Hayden-Jones and Adam Fergus. So those are the fan meets over the weekend. So that gives you an idea of what to expect Crossroads for. If you've done one of our events before, all our events go very much to the same kind of format. If you haven't done our events before, hopefully that gives you an idea. Then I have a very, very short, like 3-day break, which I'm not going to have any time to recover. And then we go straight into Crossroads. Not Crossroads, Starfury Ultimates Crisis. We'll have done Crossroads, and then we'll be going on to Ultimates Crisis, which takes place a week later. It's our celebration of the DC universe, and it's going to be mental. We've got 15 guests attending that event. Now, as I went through before, registration will start at 3 o'clock on the Friday, going on until 8 p.m. Registration will also be open from 9 o'clock on the Saturday and the Sunday. You bring your QR code, which you can show, and you can print it up if you want, or you can show it on your phone, show your QR code for your ticket to get your registration pack. We'll also want to see proof of your vaccine passport to show that you've been fully vaccinated, or alternatively, a negative COVID test. Although even if you have a COVID passport, as I said, we are recommending everybody takes a COVID test before turning up at the event. We have the opening ceremony at 8 o'clock. We've got the disco from 9 o'clock. And as we were saying before, meet and greet reception is from 8:45. We'll be asking you to wear face shields in the meet and greet reception. That's how the Friday is going to go. Now, on the Saturday, normally we have 2 photo groups in the room. We're going to be having 3 due to the number of guests. We're going to have 3 photo groups. They're all going to be in the same room. So even if you've got a lot of photo ops to get through, our staff will still help you through them and ensure that you get all your photo ops. Now, at the photo ops at 9 o'clock, in one of the groups, we have Matt Ryan, Nick Zano, and Olivia Swan together. In another group, we have Brett Bassinger and Meg DeLacy. At 9:30, Rachel Scarston, Megan Tandy, and Christina Wolf will be doing their photo ops. At 10 o'clock, we'll be doing the Legends of Tomorrow group photo. From 10 o'clock, the Supergirl guests will be there. Nicole Maines, Jessie Rath, and Aziz Tesfaye. And from 11:15, we'll have our Arrow guests, Kat McNamara and Joseph David Jones. Now, Group A on the photo session groups, that's just going to be Legends of Tomorrow guests. Group B is going to be Stargirl and Supergirl guests. And Group C is going to be the Batwoman guests and also the Arrow guests. Now, in terms of what's happening in the main hall, now this goes to the same format as the previous event. The guest talks will be taking place from 12 noon until 6 p.m. and we'll also be having the autograph sessions going on at the same time. Now, the autograph session groups, we have a Legends of Tomorrow group, and that's going to be Katie Lotz, Jess McCallan, Matt Ryan, Olivia Swan, and Nick Zano, and also Kat McNamara and Joseph David Jones from Arrow will be in that group as well. And that group will be signing from 12 till 3, although Kat McNamara will stay signing for an extra hour to 2 hours beyond that to try and get through as many attendees as possible. And the second group, that's going to be Batwoman, Stargirl, and Supergirl. They'll be signing from 3 till 6. And that's Brett Bassinger, Meg DeLacy, Nicole Maines, Jessie Rath, Aziz Tesfaye, Rachel Scarston, Megan Tandy, and Christina Wolf. That's how the autograph session's going to go. In terms of the guest talks, they're going to start at 12 noon, and that's going to be our Batwoman guest talk, and that'll be Rachel Scarston, Megan Tandy, and Christina Wolf. Straight off that at 1 o'clock, we have our Stargirl guest talk with Brett Bassinger and Meg DeLacy. And then at 2 o'clock, we have our Supergirl guest talk with Nicole Maines, Jessie Rath, and Aziz Tesfaye. Then at 3 o'clock, we have the first of our Legends of Tomorrow talks, and that will be Matt Ryan, Olivia Swan, and Nick Zano together. And then at 4 o'clock, we have another Legends of Tomorrow talk, which is also an Avalanche talk, and that will be Katie Lotz and Jess McCallan. And then at 5 o'clock, it's our Arrow Shadowhunters guests with Kat McNamara and Joseph David Jones. So that's how the guest talks will go on the Saturday. Now, at 6 o'clock, the main hall will close until 7:30. And then at 8:30, we have the cosplay contest. And at 9 o'clock, the disco. That goes until 2 o'clock. So that's how everything's going to run on the Saturday of the event. Now, we still have the Sunday to get through as well. There's another day. Now, with the Sunday on the photo ops will run from 9 in the morning till 12 noon. And going to start, as I said, we're splitting the groups. There's a Legends of Tomorrow group, a Batwoman Arrow group, and a Stargirl Supergirl group is how it's going to go when you go into the photo op room. Now, at 9 o'clock, there's Matt Ryan, Nick Zano, and Olivia Swan. At 9:30, Kat McNamara and Joseph David Jones, as well as Nicole Maines, Jessie Rath, and Ozzy Tesfaye. At 10 o'clock, we have our Legends of Tomorrow group photo. At 10:30, we're joined by the Batwoman guests, Rachel Scarston, Megan Tandy, and Christina Wolf. At 10:30, Jess McCallan and Katie Lotz will be doing photo ops together. And at 11:15, you can get Brett Bassinger and Meg DeLacy. So that's how the photo ops will go on the Sunday. Now, we have a little change in terms of the guest talks on the Sunday because Kat McNamara has to leave the event at 12 noon in order to make it for her flight to get back for filming on the Monday. Kat McNamara is going to do her guest talk with Joseph David Jones from 11 a.m. till 12 noon. We're then going to have a half-hour break, and then at 12:30, it will be Nick Zano and Matt Ryan together. And at 1:30, we have the ladies of Legends of Tomorrow together, and it's Katie Lotz, Olivia Swan, and Jess McCallan. There'll be a break for half an hour at 2:30. And then at 3 o'clock, we have our Batwoman guest talk with Rachel Scarston, Megan Tandy, and Christina Wolfe. At 4 o'clock, it's the Stargirl guests with Brett Bassinger and Meg DeLacy. And at 5 o'clock, Nicole Maines, Jesse Rath, and Ozzy Tesfaye will be doing their guest talks. Now, the fan meets that will be taking place, again, as I say, the fan meet, it's 20 guests, have a sit-down chat with one or two of the actors for about 20 to 30 minutes. You'll be asked to wear a face mask during the fan meets, say face masks that look like this. If you'd rather wear a regular mask, that's fine as well, but we will be providing free face masks. Now, on the Saturday, Brett Bassinger and Meg DeLacy will be doing their guest fan meet at 12:30. Jesse Rath and Nicole Maines will be doing one together at 1 p.m. Ozzy Tesfaye is at 1:30. At 2 o'clock, it's Megan Tandy and Rachel Scarston. At 3:30, Joseph David Jones and Kat McNamara. And at 5:10, Katie Lotz and Jess McCallan. Now, if you bought a photo op with Crystal Reed, not a photo op, a fan meet with Crystal Reed, that's going to be refunded this weekend. If you bought a fan meet with Kyla Lee and Ozzy Tesfaye, that's also being refunded. But if you still wanted to see Ozzy, then you could rebuy a fan meet with just her. We decided to just refund them all to make it easier, and it's slightly cheaper because it'll be just be Ozzy on her own. Now, the Sunday fan meets, at 2:40 p.m., we have Katie Lotz and Jess McCallan together. At 4 o'clock, it's Jesse Rath and Nicole Maines. At 4:30, it's Ozzy Tesfaye. And at 5:30, it's Brett Bassinger and Meg DeLacy. Now, the event itself, the guest talks will finish at 6 o'clock. We should also finish around that time the autographs as well. There'll be an hour break, and then at 7 o'clock, we'll have the closing ceremony. That'll take place for about half an hour, and then we have the disco in the evening. So that's how it's all going to run for Starfury Ultimates Crisis. Now, I'm going to send an email out to all attendees with those details of the schedule. I'll also try and include autograph prices as well. We'll get that out to you at some point over the weekend, so you've got that information to hand so you can start planning how you're going to approach the weekend. If you could respect also the COVID precautions that we're putting in place, we want to make sure our events are as safe as possible post-pandemic. I feel everything's gone very well with the 5 events we've had since the pandemic, and I want to keep going that way. Just to confirm, we did have some guest cancellations. Alex Punovich has unfortunately won't be able to make Crossroads 4, and Kyla Lee and also Crystal Reed will not be able to make Ultimates Crisis. However, we will be processing all the refunds on their photo ops, and you should have that processed over the weekend and receive the money in your account within the next 3 to 5 working days. Now, if I'm seeing you at Crossroads 4 next week or Ultimates Crisis, I'm really looking forward to it. Otherwise, I hope I'll see you at another Starfury event at some time later this year. In the meantime, thanks for all your support. Hopefully we'll have more news. I know it's been very late in terms of guest announcements for Agents Assemble, but I'm still working on that. Most of the other events are pretty much finalized in terms of their guest lineups, although I'm still working on reconfirming Amelia Holm for Survival 5. But that brings us for a close to tonight. But looking forward to seeing everybody who's coming to Crossroads 4 and Survival 5, Ultimates Crisis in 2 weeks' time. I hope you all have a good weekend, and hope I'm seeing you in the next week or so. And also a big thank you to Joe, who helped me do this tonight. Take care, guys.
Oh